What's up, Roxstars? Yeah, I be determined to get in this shirt. Okay, bitch about to bust the buttons off. I'm just a little too full today. Anyway, Roxstars, how y'all doing? Y'all gonna have to get used to the mouth. You know, if you follow me on Snapchat, Instagram, Twitter, you guys know that I have braces. You can't see them. You still can't see them. Anyway, they're invisible braces. I mean, clear, or not invisible. They're not Invisalign. They're actually traditional ceramic braces. I'm going to do a blog on it this week. I'm trying. But it hasn't really been too eventful. You know, I got some tender areas and all, but, you know. Anyway, I'm going to do a blog about it. So, yeah, I've got to come up with some extra videos, you guys, because I don't know what the fuck is going on, but I don't have any videos to do. All of the shows are off. They even had the nerve not to show Love and Hip Hop last night, and I guess that's because of the, championship game that's going on. So, you know, a bitch check at the end of the month be looking real dry. It's been terrible these last couple of months, and I'm just, you know, I got to come up with something. So, child, this is what I decided. I had said on Snapchat that I would do a question of the day, and I told everybody simply to snap me some questions, and I would make it a topic. I'd pick the best one, I'd make it a topic, and make a YouTube video about it. Well, it didn't quite work out the way I wanted it to on Snapchat because everybody was asking for story time, which this is not a story time, but I am going to think long and hard about a story. I have an idea for a story that I can tell. It's not really funny. I mean, but it was eventful, definitely so, but, you know, so I'm not sure. I'm still trying to figure it out in my mind, because you guys, look, the thing is with story time is I like to do story times that are entertaining, or it's, you know, something that we can, you know, all enjoy. If it's just me telling stories, I mean, people do story times, but to me it's just like it needs to be something funny, otherwise it's just you talking, okay? So, or not necessarily funny, but just it needs to be something a little bit out of the ordinary. I got a couple of things that I'm gonna work on, because I'm telling you, if I don't come on something, the bitch gonna be broke. Okay, this is my little extra money. I need to be able to get my eyelashes and my hair done and shit, y'all. Anyway, why is Joe texting me? So I did get a few people that, you know, did snap me some questions. And thank you guys all for those who had done that. I did find a question, actually from one of my good friends. We've talked about this in the past, and I was like, you know what, this is a good enough question. I'm going to ask it on my YouTube channel. I'm going to see what the Roxstars got to say. So this is what the question is. You have a child that is about to go away and won't be under your supervision any longer. Do you put them on birth control, or do you leave it up to them to be responsible enough to not get pregnant / get somebody else pregnant? And I was just like, it is a good ass question. I mean, it's the summertime, and I know a lot of my rock stars out there have kids that will be going away for college, military, or just, you know, plain moving out the house, working, doing whatever they're doing. I hope you are. Y'all know what these new millennials, child, these kids get to thinking that they're supposed to get everything handed to them. But that's a whole nother story, y'all. We ain't gonna get political on that ass. Y'all be too deep with it for me. But yeah, getting back to the question, what would you guys do? Since I have two teenage kids, one that's going to the 12th grade and one that's going to the 10th grade, I figured that this is a question that is just as important to me as it would to be to some of the rest of you guys. Now, I feel like my kids are pretty open with me. We talk about a lot of things, especially my daughter. And I feel like, you know, the example that me and my husband put forth for my kids is that they're pretty responsible. They're not sheltered children. They get to go out and hang with their friends and do things, and, you know, within reason, within their age limit, you know, what they should and shouldn't be doing at this time. It's very difficult as a parent sometimes to try to keep your child protected, but also allow them to get out and experience life, okay? Especially with the way that, you know, things that's going on in the society right now, not necessarily the safest place, especially for our black boys. But it is important to my husband and myself that we let our children kind of experience things, so that when they go away to college, or when they're just away from us and not in our, you know, supervision, that they would know how to make the best mistakes. the best decisions for them. Ooh, child, trying to talk with these braces. Like, I'm trying to keep the lipstick from getting on them. So, I don't know if I'm supposed to be putting my lips over it. I don't know what I'm supposed to be doing, y'all. Oh, this tooth right here is tender. We try to make sure that our children are responsible. They know right from wrong. They know the decisions that they should make. But should is the working word. And that's the thing that parents have to take into consideration. If I was to really be truthful, like Joe going off to college or military or whatever he's going to do, I can see me buying a bag of condoms and just being like, here, make sure you use that and be safe. I don't think that I would do that with my daughter. I'm definitely not buying her no condoms. But the whole idea of driving her to a gynecologist and, getting her a pap smear and, getting her put on birth control pills, I don't know. I just don't. I don't know. Like, when I was growing up, my mom didn't teach me anything about the birds and the bees. She didn't teach me anything about any of that. She was very old school. I didn't know about even periods. I had to learn about periods from a friend of mine. My mom did, take the liberty of buying this book called Where Do I Come From? I think that's what it's called. It was very popular back in the 70s. Okay, and it was a book that she used to have in a stack under the telephone books, in the bedroom right next to her dresser. And it was very thin, but it was big. And I used to always see it, and I was like, when can I read that book? And my mom would always say, when you go to the 7th grade, you can read that book. And it was like a rite of passage. I remember her giving it to me and reading it. She was like, baby, you soak all that up. That's going to teach you everything you need to know. Okay. She didn't even say that. Okay. She just kind of handed me the book. And I think it was supposed to be, telepathic, that I was supposed to get that type of message from it. So I read the book. I was intrigued with the pictures. And, they had the naked woman from baby all the way up to, full-grown woman. And then the man from the baby all the way up to a full-grown man. I used to look at that and be like, isn't that something? That was the extent of my sexual education. And I had to learn from friends, from movies, from just me trying to kind of figure out what the hell was going on. And no slight to my parents, because they did the best they can, obviously. But, it's a different time and a different age back then. I didn't have sex when I was in high school. I had many friends that were active. I actually, in the 12th grade, was obsessed with sex. Like, I knew I was going to prom. I really wanted to have sex because I was just like, oh, my friends are doing it and it's going to be weird because I'm going to prom. And then after the after party, and what if I go to a hotel and I'm going to be telling the guy I'm not going to do it? So, like, it was like all that I thought about. But it didn't happen. I ended up going to the prom with somebody I didn't know. So that was out of the picture. I had sense enough to know that I wasn't going to have sex with just anybody. So I didn't have sex, but it was always on my mind. When I did get involved with someone and was going to have sex, I went to the doctor. I got on birth control even before I had even done it and had been on it for some time, because I just knew that it was probably about to start happening. Do I think that parents today should leave that type of situation for their children to try to decide? It feels like, if I were to be very truthful and maybe even naive, but it feels like me as a parent taking Jada to go get on birth control pills is almost like I'm encouraging her. It's hard to level your reasoning with the reality. And the reasoning of a parent is, oh, my child, I've raised them and they know right from wrong and they know what they should and shouldn't do. And, they would know just automatically that we ain't want no kids. We don't want no damn kids. And so they're not going to get pregnant. That's the reasoning that me as a parent has. The reality is, even if you've given your child all of this guidance and, structure, and you told them about responsibilities and the birds and bees and all of that, they can get off to college, and all it takes is one mistake. And we've all heard stories about friends that have had kids or have had kids of our own who've gone off to college and had a promising future ahead of them, and then their freshman year they get pregnant. Not necessarily a bad thing, but trust me, it's not the thing that most parents want their children to do. The reality is hard to temper with the reasoning. Of course, I don't want my child to get pregnant. I honestly don't believe that Jada will get pregnant because Jada doesn't really like kids. But even if you don't like kids, I mean, if you are engaging in sex, which even though they may not be doing that right now when they go off to college, and it's just a little bit more pressure and a little bit more freedom and a little bit more to kind of do what you feel like doing, then, can I just really not think about all of the societal pressures that come on? Do I ignore all of that and still just hope that, that my child will make the best decisions? I honestly don't know. I know that it's even not right for me to say that I would give Joe condoms, but, Jada is a different thing. But to me, condoms is different because condoms isn't medication. So I don't have to take Joe to a gynecologist. I know he's a boy, but I'm just saying. I don't have to take him to a doctor to get a checkup for all of these things and then, put him on medication. Is that a bad way to look at it? Like, I guess you could give your daughter a bag of condoms too. But then it's sort of like, even though I can remember when I was active, not trying to tell y'all my business or nothing, but I did have condoms. But I told you guys that I'm a planner, like to the heart. And I think y'all think I was just playing. But I need to know ahead of time, like, everything that's going to happen. So I just always have been one of those ones that's, like, always prepared, y'all. This tooth. Oh! It's this tooth. I guess it all boils down to you knowing your children, being truthful with yourself and knowing whether or not they will be responsible enough. And again, you can only know that so much. But if they would be responsible enough to, be on birth control when they decide to become active. What do y'all think, though? When I think about just the whole heaviness of the topic, it kind of makes me, nervous because I don't want my child to be having sex prematurely. It's kind of, stressful and scary to even think about because I want my children to live their full life. And when they're ready to have a family, then I want them to be ready to have a family. I just remember being able to do a lot of things because I had the freedom. It's always going to be time for children. It's always going to be time for children. So the best thing to me, because I will tell you guys in a heartbeat, I had the most fun in my entire fucking life in my 20s. I told you guys that many times. Great times. My friends, none of them had kids. We all just had a good time going out, partying, drinking, working, school. But just not having the excess responsibility, the extra responsibility of children goes a long way when you're in your 20s because you need to kind of figure out what you want to do with your own life before you start bringing a baby in, which a lot of times babies change up they change everything up. Okay, you got to do things a whole lot. You got to move differently when you have kids. So I'm not naive enough to think that they won't ever have sex, but I think that we really have to instill in our children the responsibility of making the best decisions for them, even way out into the future. That being said, I still don't know about the whole birth control. I just don't know. I don't know. If I were to give you a definite answer today, I would not do that for Jada. That may change as Jada goes through 10th, 11th, and 12th grade. I'm going to see how Jada is, with the opposite sex and, those kind of things. But, y'all, these are the kind of questions that I wish my mom was alive for. Because even though my mom, when I was younger, was not there for it and was not trying to talk about it, I really, honestly, even if I had to get the lady uncomfortable today, I would ask her, And she probably would turn red and be like old Roxanne and, not know and be flustered and stuff. But I truly believe that my mom will give me some good advice once she get past her embarrassment and all, So these are the times when I be having these kind of questions. I was just like, I really wish I could just talk to old Rube and see what she thinks. But since I don't have Ruby here, you guys, the Roxstars is going to have to do. Child, these braces. I just feel like the lips just need to come over them and then come down. Roxstars, you guys tell me what you think. Would you put your child on birth control? Would you leave it up to your child to make the best decisions for themselves? Y'all tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Leave it down there in the comments. I think this was a pretty cool video, you guys. Just me pondering. Okay? Just me trying to figure out some shit. We gonna figure it out together. You know why? Because I loves me some Roxstars. I do. I love y'all to death. Well, you guys, I'm gonna get off of here because I done talked for way longer than I thought I was, as usual. And I need to give me something to eat. You guys, I just had the... Oh my God, I just realized I can't get no Big Mac. I can't bite into nothing. Oh my God, I just knew I was about to get a Big Mac meal. Some of you haters should be real happy that I can't eat my fucking Big Mac. Look, I'm trying to slobber and shit. Let me get it. Damn! I just knew I was getting me a Big Mac. Anyway, y'all, let me get off of here. Fixing to go get me some damn chicken nuggets then. Yeah, leave your answers below. And if I can come up with, you know, pretty interesting enough questions every week, like I said, I'll ask on Snapchat. We'll make that a Snapchat thing. Y'all snap me some questions. Not right now. I'm gonna let you know on Snapchat when we do it. And if I can find one that's pretty interesting to me, then I will bring it to the Roxstars. How's that? All right, y'all. Anyway, make sure you rate, comment, and subscribe to the channel. I'm itsrox. Channel's for itsrox. Everything else I do will be in the bottom bar. All right. Wendy's. I hope that you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I plan on doing the same. Till next time, Roxstars. Bye.